CalazCon is a show about war, obsession, colonialist occupation, and the many forms of violence those inflict. See the description for content warnings specific to this episode.
You are the brave pilots of Terminal Company, the DFS's frontline squad in the struggle for Hestial.
So we are fighting the Jovagilian Empire troops in the context of a fake Halazar battle.
Oh no, this one, that's not a sniper rifle. That's decommissioned for competition use.
Turncoats can't be trusted. I'm watching.
Do I have to worry about them?
Mikey, I don't think it sits right with anyone to be taking hostages.
I'm literally a security robot. I think I have a pretty good shot at pretending to be security here.
Get out there, do what you need to do, and if anything goes amiss, I will be having your heads. You will never work in this industry again. Understood?
I think Julius looks at Mike as if to be like, yeah, are we okay with that? Right? Very theatrically. Like, can we let their set dressers work on us?
Mike is actually looking quite... he's trying not to look perturbed because he has on his mech, one of the unique items he's got is sponsor decals, which if they get covered up has negative mechanical. Well, I suppose technically that hasn't been declared yet, but in principle, yeah, just don't mess with the branding and we'll be fine.
You heard the man.
Fine. Meanwhile, while this is going on, True and Ipse, are you letting this happen? Because it occurs to me that with the whole show that's been going on here, this could also be an opportunity for you to try to discreetly make yourself scarce.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think if this has kind of drawn the director's attention away a bit, but we think we can just sort of sidle off into the area we were trying to gain access to anyway, I don't see any reason to get repainted right now.
Yeah, my temptation was to just kind of step off from the group while this is occurring. You know, particularly, I think the beat is when the explosion goes off, she starts walking quick step on the same frame of animation.
Yeah.
I think as she's walking past a row of, like, costumes or what have you, puts down the pile of boxes she has, shrugs on a taupe military jacket, and keeps walking, does not break step, but is trying to go further into the dressing hanger.
Okay, yeah. It's you following?
Yeah, I'll just follow for the time being, yeah.
Alright. As you do, you sort of catch some of the chatter when you put on that jack, you hear other people talking about, like, the sort of discourse and discussion you'd expect from this kind of event. People saying, like, well, it's taupe because for this season, what Sebastian decided was he wanted to emphasize the fact that really this arc is a metaphor for the January Revolution that happened on his home planet just the year before. Stuff like that, you know? There's a lot of artistic license and interpretation going on here. But you eventually make your way to the vast circular indoor dome of the former softball field, and you can see, sure enough, there is a very large mech having finishing touches being put on it, right down to people up on ladders, like filing down the smallest points, finishing off a decal. You can see the fave of the ribbon, because this is the other RV. You are in the area that is devoted to Sank Fives, and you can see that, like, there's sort of they're affixing the special effects for Sank Five's poisonous nanite mist to the cockpit.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can see that things are pretty busy. Is there a specific sort of thing that you've got your eye on or that you're looking for?
Yeah, because our friends, the Joves, definitely said that they were taking something out of here, and that still has me thinking that they're interfering with something in here. You know, maybe they've done the old swappy-do, which is a well-known military tactic.
Mm-hmm.
So my temptation is, if I can, I'm going to scale the old rigging as well, and see if I can work out whether anything untoward has been done to this AMV.
Alright, yeah. Ipsay, what about you? Are you assisting?
Similar thought process on my part, but I want to go and specifically look at this nanite effect gas and work out what it actually is, and is it made of real nanites? Is it not made of real nanites? And again, does it seem like something that could have been tampered with or swapped out to mess with the event?
Yeah, I think we can broadly consider that as, like, if you're okay with this, those are, like, similar enough that I view them as, like, one helping the other, potentially. They're both broadly about, like, what's up with this mech.
How technical are you, Ipso?
Reasonably. I have some points in engineer and interface.
Okay, I don't have points in either, despite my best friend being a gun.
I was gonna say, yeah. You don't ever like, do any work yourself?
No, I have Mike for that. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
So, what I am thinking is, if you would permit me to, Ipse, I can do a setup action for you, which is basically me stepping along, and in terms of the survey type skills, the one I'm actually good at is study. So my thinking is maybe I'm finding technical diagrams that they're working off of. Maybe I'm listening in on their communications, the calls and to and fro between the engineers. Maybe I just tap into their comms frequency. And I'm just kind of stepping around the space, remarking into my own comm to Ipso, filling you in on the details. I'd like to set you up because True is quite good at that.
Alright. The sort of stuff you're describing as self-doing sounds a little bit more survey-ish, like it sounds a bit broader focus.
That's my concern, because I'm not good at survey, but, we'll do what we can. I'm going to start with 0 dice and immediately push myself in that case.
Are there any potential collaterals as well, or?
Ooh, I do enjoy a good collateral. What would a collateral look like, Elspeth?
Collateral would look like me starting a fun surprise clock and ticking it once.
Oh, beautiful. Say the line, Beam Saber GM.
Would I know how big the clock is? Or may I know how big the clock is?
It would be 4.
3 whole actions to resist it? Nah, we'll be fine.
That's fine.
Easy.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. Fun surprise clock. We're still in a desperate situation, aren't we? Or would you say that the Loud Boys and their shenanigans have diffused the situation with Jean-Claude Van Damme over there?
Inside, you're in the thick of things. I'd say you're risky. Yeah.
Excellent. What's my effect here? Does it matter for a setup action?
Setup action, no. You just need a 4 or more.
Here we go. So I'm starting off on 0 dice. I am pushing myself, and I am taking an additional dice.
Yeah.
That's a 5 and a 2. So that is a 5. That is a 4 plus. You're all set up, good buddy. You can either take improved position or improved effect on your action roll. Which I think is, like I said, it's, True. There are shots of, engineers debating over, control panels and things like that, and True is in the back of the conversation, not necessarily understanding all of the technical terminology, but she's either letting it record or ferreting it back to Ipso.
Okay. There is, however, still a consequence from this.
Oh, there is. It's a 5. Sorry, I see. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I momentarily forgot how Forged in the Dark worked. Wild.
So, let me think what happens here. Yeah, I think trust is a pretty good one. Yeah, I would say -2 trust with CalazCon, with the accidents, because you're taking too much time looking over this. They let you in on good faith, and now you're immediately looking like you're doing some military espionage.
I have an ability called Hook that means I can spend Spark to change a setup action's result to a 6. I can spend a quirk to refresh my Spark. Do you think that would be a good time to do that?
You should do that. I don't know, setup actions are relatively rare, I find, in play, so I think just, go in.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, if if it's replenished by burning quirks anyway, I can really refresh that whenever I like. There's nothing about timing in the actual move, so I assume I can do that post-resolution. How do you feel about it, Elspeth?
Yeah, I think so, yes. Why not?
It says change, right? So
Yeah, go for it.
It does say change, which implies an effect has already occurred. I do that.
Nice.
When the conversation starts to get a little pointed, I think she's able to kind of socially pivot. She sort of offers her apologies for interrupting, explains that, her wife back home is just a little bit of a technician. She's been away from home for a decent few weeks now, and, she's starting to get a little homesick, and, being in these kind of spaces really helps. It's nice to hear that kind of technicians banter around the place,
Yeah. Yeah, so that works. So, it's you are planning to study this whole, poison nanite mechanism in closer detail.
Yeah, I think with the setup there, what I'd actually like to do is go and see if there's any diagnostic terminals I can connect to for this mech. So I'm going to go and interface with it and see if I can, if its diagnostics are reading nominally, if there's anything that it would have detected being changed, things like that.
True's actions have given you the sort of context to understand the significance of all of this. So that sounds, are you angling for an interface?
That was the
and
plan,
would you like
yeah.
improved position or effect from the setup?
So I'd like to take improved position from the setup, and then I'm also going to declare myself to have a fine digital connector from my pilot gear, and hope that having that fine piece of gear can improve my effect.
Yes, but you are dealing with some Tier 3 security measures, so that will just make it controlled standard rather than controlled limited.
Okay, that is fine. Should I push myself for this? I have 1 dice in interface normally.
1 is not many.
Yeah, it's a coin flip. No, I'm just going to take a roll. Yep. See, we're fine.
Hey,
That's
Leo.
5.
Perfect.
So yeah, I wanna check basically by interfacing with this mech if there's anything suspicious or evidence of tampering going on here.
Okay.
And yeah, I think you see me unspooling a gold-plated cable from one of my pouches and inserting it into a jack on one of my forearms and then finding a spot on the diagnostic panel to plug into.
What you get from this is, at first you don't think you've found anything because everything seems to be functional, but then that's exactly it. Everything is functional. Not in the sense of the poison is real poison, because that would maybe be a little contrived. That's not a good weapon in general, potentially. Not super practical, but for example, I think what you get is that there's meant to be an iconic moment where you would know where even blind, the hero, Brad, manages to block Sank Fives' sword and parry it with such force that it shatters. And you can see that there's meant to be a weak point in the sword, so it will break easily. They want to reenact that iconic moment. There isn't. Part of the Vermin's plan is for Sank Fives' Zactor for the heal to throw the booking.
they have ungimmicked the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. Very devious and quite satisfied with that. I will
My god, it's the low gel screw job.
unplug myself from the Mac and go and report this to my colleagues. Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mike and Julius, how are you getting on? You've been given your makeover.
Yeah.
I know that one of the criticisms that Sebastian Bangarang had about these mechs was they were all sharp angles. For the Vector Mantis, Mike's mech, that's less of an issue. Mike's mech is like one of the shuttle models from the Beam Saber core rulebook that has been tuned or customized. The hands have been replaced with these large, heavy blades, and the feet have been replaced with like almost bird-like mechanical ones. And this is a mech that's been highly optimized for speed. Big boosters on the back end for like aerodynamics for speed. It has been like given a more rounded appearance, like almost like an F1 car-ish to the more kind of slightly more boxy and triangular regular DFS mech designs. But I think it's the colour that's been the issue. Or maybe perhaps there's been some attachments of like mech scale cloth around it or over the top.
Yeah, okay, like some pennants or something.
Yeah, pennants and things
Nice.
like that.
Okay, so with that sorted, This is interesting. I'm not sure what they do with Julius's. Are they the Toru?
Shall I describe that for reference?
Yeah, please.
Julius' mech is called the Toru. It is a Truant Security Supplies bull and a Truant Security Supplies orangutan. It's because it's two mechs. Julius is got a sort of squat, like ape-looking mech, and it is carrying over one shoulder a slightly smaller bull-shaped mech that is like been essentially retrofitted so it can be carried around at all, and in one hand is holding a spear. The orangutan is like fairly rounded, but I imagine they sort of had an issue with the, completely clashing designs of the bull slung over one shoulder.
Nice. Yeah, okay.
They probably just opted to like cover it up, make it look like a gun battery rather than, which it is to be fair, but like a gun battery more than a entire secondary mech.
Or perhaps like I was tempted to say cover it with a tarp. Perhaps like perhaps like a cool looking cape could go over the shoulder.
They can't afford tarps.
They
don't have the budget for
that. A cape is just an expensive tarp,
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Probably a cheaper tarp. I think we're just hanging out, right? Like, I think we probably let True and Ipse take point on this, and then, like, when the Joves show up, we just crack some skulls.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably do a patrol, right? Like, we've sold them that we're the mech security. We should probably do a patrol around the outside.
Yes,
right?
That's a good call. I have a point in survey. I could roll survey unless you want to roll something different.
I mean, I got a point in scan.
Oh, scan's good. Yeah, no, because that's a vehicle scale action, so that makes way more sense than survey. So I can help you. I can help you scan if you want.
Yeah, sure. You can help me scan. Yeah. So I guess once again we're looking at this map. There's kind of like the dressing hangar, the arena, and then the Solid Foods main hall. Is that the stage or is that a food?
That
hall?
is like the main convention hall, but it used to be a salad factory.
Oh right, yes. And so I guess, and above that there's the Old Town Backstreet. So I guess. Like, should we be together, or should we be, like, looping around? Because Mike probably is like, yeah, I'll go north, you go south, or we'll meet out in front of the Salad Foods main hall. If I'm doing a scan, we can probably link up and triangulate stuff as well. So even if we're not, like, in close proximity, we're in our mechs, we have, like, the ability to communicate between them. That would probably make sense. Is that right, Ian?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sorry, that's not me.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So, if you give me an assist, that's 2 dice. I suspect that stuff might be kicking off. I'm wondering if it might be worthwhile. Is there a collateral?
The collateral is I start another 4 o'clock, and that 4 o'clock is for a absolute 100% positive ID on the legendary turncoat general Julius Thermidor.
Oh, I'm taking that.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Please take that. God, yes.
Yeah, because
Captain, not General.
Yes, Captain Julius Thermidor, because for the, so to remind everyone assumes that, like, Julius was killed in action or died in a DFS prison. So even when this, like, legendary, this, like, very distinctive silhouette of his mech has started turning up, and he spotted people like, oh, that's a myth. You must have been seeing things. Oh, people have, like, figured out this is a thing that people keep talking about among us, and like our enemies are doing it to throw us off. So the Jovangelians still don't know, or it isn't widely believed that you're alive and fighting for the other side.
Yeah, also the bull part of my mech is a relatively recent addition.
Yes.
I did not have that when I was killing DFS soldiers for 16 years.
And to be clear, the bull part is, as far as everyone is concerned, visually it's so overbalanced that, like, it looks like a structural impossibility. People say, like, oh yeah, I saw Julius Thermidor's mech, it was like lifting an entire jet plane or something, and people are just like, ha, yeah, sure.
I bet.
Yeah. I saw Elvis lifting a car, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. But sooner or later, that's got to change, and maybe it'll be now.
Yeah.
Is this a clock for this mission, or is this like a clock for the squad?
Why choose? You know.
All right.
let's see how this roll goes. I would say your position... this is risky standard, I think.
I think a standard effect is probably going to be fine here.
Yeah.
So, and risky, I'm fine with. So I'm going to put those 2 boosts into additional dice. So that'll be a 3 dice scan.
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem then. You'll do great.
One would hope.
Oh, shit!
Ooh, that's 5, 6, 6.
We are so good at this!
Oh! So yeah, Mike heads north, you head south, and yeah, that's a crit.
Yeah, okay.
And the coordination is like instinctive. Right?
Yeah,
like
it's
we forget who we're talking to, and it's just like, all clear, right? We're just like, shouting back like bits of jargon, and it's like instantly familiar.
Because we're both professional soldiers for like, I don't think like Mike's been a professional soldier for 16 years, but it's coming up on a decade, I think.
Long ass time, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god.
Perfect. Okay. So, after a while, your scanners pick up increased noise and traffic. But it's from the place you're not supposed to be. It's from Corona Avenue. It's from that other sensitive operation. So, first you figure, okay, none of our business. And then you also manage to pick up very carefully, because you've done the prior work to know that the vermin, people running this attempted invasion, are a guerrilla force. They move quietly, they move slowly. You look a bit more closely and you realise that some of the traffic is moving in different directions. Like, it's as if there's something really big moving down Corona Avenue. And if you hadn't looked a bit closer, you wouldn't have realised that underneath the big thing, a lot of smaller signals are creeping out.
Oh, so we get like the ping, 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 ping on the scan, right? Like on the radar, like.
Yeah. And while the larger force, the larger signals going down Corona Avenue, the smaller ones are moving into the back streets and towards the Salad Foods Hall.
Oh, that's where we are.
So some smaller, like, you would guess, like, infantry squads or smaller driving vehicles, maybe a few smaller armies. But the other thing here, and this is the thing you get on a crit, is, but wait, that's the Corona Avenue operation wasn't meant to have anything to do with us. This doesn't make any sense. The whole point was something else is happening there. This was in your rules of engagement. There is another operation happening on Corona Avenue you shouldn't interfere in. And Julius, I think this is where you step in. Because you can see, moving down Corona Avenue, a long convoy of military trucks. Evangelion colours. And on the back of these trucks, with some like flatbed ones, are things you recognise as anti-air defences, jets, recon craft, and flying from the back of each of these is a familiar, resplendent flag, a long, coiling, black and emerald green flag of a coiled, striking serpent. This is a Serpent's Fangs convoy, and from the equipment, they're on their way to settle down and reinforce in Hestial Airport. They are on their way there, dropping off the vermin for the invasion, but your command decided that you didn't need to know that. They knew that that was part of what was happening, and they decided not to tell you, because they figured, you realise now, that if you knew the Serpent's Fangs were on their way to Hestial Airport, you would go off mission.
Off mission in the sense of going to the airport, or off mission in the sense of engaging the serpents?
In the sense of engaging the serpents. Because...
Yes, I'd like to engage the serpents.
Yeah, not just the serpents, but don't forget, these people are carrying air equipment. Your squad goal is to make sure the DFS holds Hestial Airport so that you have a route off this miserable planet.
Yes, because we currently cannot get reinforcements down from the space airport.
Yeah, and you have no feasible way of leaving. It's not just the Serpent's Fangs, it's that they are definitely on their way to make that a lot more difficult.
Okay. Can I shoot them with missiles, perhaps?
Okay. No hesitation.
I think that would be... Okay, do we break any ROE if I shoot them with missiles?
They're currently not on Corona Avenue.
By moving down Corona Avenue, specifically your rules of engagement were don't go, east of Artist's Alley over Corona Avenue.
It also says prevent damage outside the cleared combat zone, and I feel like bunging a load of missiles outside the cleared combat zone.
Oh,
I mean, maybe if you're very
I'm just
precise,
saying.
but
I have 2 in Bombard.
yeah, true. Philo is correct. If you are asking for that rule of engagement to get broken if you don't do this perfectly.
Okay, can I wait until they're off? Julius has been in the military a while. I think he is probably familiar with obeying the letter, if not the spirit, of his orders. Can I wait until they have left Corona Avenue and then shoot them with missiles?
Yes, you'll avoid that part, but there's still the risk of causing damage outside the combat zone.
Oh, wait, yeah, hang on. Could we do some sort of maneuver in which maybe Mike could draw them into the cleared combat zone? Because you have a really fast-moving mech, right?
I have a very fast-moving mech, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess if I go to them, they'd be... Oh, no, they'd be on Corona Avenue, and then that'd be breaking that ROE. But if we wait until they're off Corona Avenue,
yep,
I can then nip up there and basically just try and pull them back here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's potentially a thing I could try.
Okay. Yeah, you want to give that a shot? That sounds a lot like a maneuver.
That does sound like a maneuver. What's the starting position and effect on that?
They're tier 3. I would say, actually, that this is, despite the tier difference, this is risky standard. You're well equipped for this, and they are vulnerable to an easy diversion or throwing them off course because you are dealing with a large, bulky convoy.
That's true. Yeah, I'm good at maneuver rolls. I'm wondering, would this be a setup option for Julius to then shoot them with missiles?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I think,
Or it can be a straight maneuver, that's also fine.
I think it's a straight maneuver because the fictional state of moving where they are going is important in itself.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. Risky standard. I have a fine mobility suite. Does that affect any of that? Or I can declare a fine mobility suite. Does that affect the...
I would say that might be what makes this risky and not desperate. In the sense that they still have a lot of firepower.
The other thing, my kind of tuner ability is weight saving. So when I declare a piece of vehicle gear, you may decide that it's an extra light version. An extra gear is 1 load lighter to a minimum 0, and if it becomes 0, it only has 1 use that gets refilled at the start of the next mission. So as well as the main weapons that Mike's the Vector Mantis has, Mike's mech, being these 2 large blades on the place in the hands, it's got a lot of 1-use weapons. Having also 1-use other stuff. And I'm looking at the vehicle gear, and I can notice there's a holo projector on there to visualize the AR or specific images. I'm wondering if that's the thing that I could tick off for a 1-use, as from the helmet of the Vector Mantis, which has these kind of mandible guns on it as well. I could project out an image to try and help, project an image of damage happening to the road in front of them to help them. Oh, we've got to deflect back to the Old Town backstreet, something like that.
Absolutely.
That make
sense? That would make you risky great easily.
Fuck
Okay.
yes.
Are there any collaterals you can offer me?
It's got to be another tick on Julius Thermidor confirmed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I will take that, and I think I'm also going to use. I'm going to push myself for a quirk as well, and I think I'm going to tick off the heavy duty boosters. That seems like a useful thing since we're trying to get there in and out quick. That makes sense to me. So that was risky great. Yeah, I don't feel the need to go any lower than that on the position. So yeah, a maneuver starting at 2, risky great, and with 2 bonus dice makes that 4. So let's see where we can go. As a thrumming, one of the things for the Vector Mantis is it's been tuned for high speed, and I think we see the serpent's fangs going down there, almost leaving the field of vision. But then we hear this thrumming, distinctive engine, and the Vector Mantis just from a standing start heading down there. So let's see what we get. That's a 3-5-3-1. Risky consequence.
Yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward. So, yeah, you immediately see shock and confusion in the Serpent's Fang's ranks, and they start veering rapidly amidst your sort of rapid deflection and sort of shepherding them away. You can hear chatter over their comms, about there being an obstacle on the road. Why wasn't this scouted? Quick shouting
it's like,
directions.
I'm flying there.
Yeah.
I'm flying there. It looks like I'm using my blades to, carve up a statue or something. And then it comes crashing down over the road. This, of course, I'm not actually doing that. It's just a hologram. But it sells it, I guess.
Yeah. But what also happens is, because the street's so tight and the convoy is so long, to an extent you have to count on... You can't 100% see what they're doing. You can't see how the people at the back are responding. You just have to count on, they can't see that well either.
Mm-hmm.
But you get unlucky. Someone at the back is very quick and very trigger happy. And I imagine that you're just sort of diving down a side alley, thinking that the job's been done, when you hear a whistle and then an explosion behind you as the alleyway is filled with rubble, as someone managed to load one of the artillery weapons on the convoy and fire it down in front of them. So your vehicle can take level 2 damage. Blasted, I think about works.
Okay. Could I try and resist that?
Yes, you could. What quirk would you be resisting with?
Well, assuming it is an expertise resist to kind of dodge out of the way, I think sensitive controls. I think under normal circumstances, a regular mech would plow straight into it, but just this fraction hair trigger, we get a zoom in on Mike's hands as just quickly pulling it back, and we still get hit slightly by it, but we just get scraped rather than blasted, I guess.
Yeah.
By the rubber.
Definitely. I would say in that case you can have the level 1 damage battered.
And we get over comms, pallbearer, incoming.
I'd like to put Julius on top of a building with the sun in the background, because I can do that. I'm an author of this story.
Oh, wait, so you're...
Isn't it night?
Just the image of one hand climbing over the top of the skyscraper and then the horns of the bull of the Toru cresting over the sunset. Does a possible glow or prime? Because it's your artillery, right?
Oh, okay. We're gonna get to that. I think that the first thing that we get with the camera inside of Julius's cockpit is a very low, I think it's his comms are open, but it's not clear whether or not he intends anyone to hear this or not. Just sort of a muttered, "Michael, for a man intending to stab me in the back, you've been remarkably helpful." And then the hand of his mech slaps the bull, and about 8 missile batteries open up on the back. So I'm going to tick a rack of missiles or rockets, and I'd also like to push myself with the quirk Packed with Ordnance. So I want to bombard.
I think that this might be, by default, risky limited.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, you have got them in a tight confined space, which is ideal for missiles, but they are a higher tier than you. They have better defenses, their equipment, their preparation, their training for this sort of thing is better than yours. Your squad's on a fundamental level. And also, you're one guy against a whole convoy. They have the scale advantage.
Okay. Can I get a collateral dice?
Yes, you can. As tempting as that big, glowing Julius Thermidor confirmed clock we have going on is, I would like to suggest one. Tell me about a moment in your past with the Jovangelian Empire this reminds you of, and take an appropriate level 1 emotional harm.
Oh boy, okay. I think he did this to a DFS squad, and it's a good memory for him. He has this moment of nostalgia of being next to someone who is in this mech, right? This mech is not over his shoulder. There is someone piloting it, right? And him ordering this to happen, and then watching the rest of his squad like come in and mop up any of the survivors, and it is this moment of like of nostalgia for like 1 second for him, and then he like remembers where he is and what he's done, and should we say guilty?
Yeah, I was going to suggest guilty of or ashamed, even.
I think ashamed is a lot more fun, actually. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right. So level 1 harm, ashamed.
Do you need an assist with that?
Oh yeah, I'd love an assist.
So you were saying it's just you. This is stress assist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying like it's only one person. I think Michael kind of, after going straight up after avoiding this rubble, because you know the Vector Mantis is a flying mech, flies up, starts kind of hovering in the position that it's in. The 2 big boosters on its back rotate around, and once again, using the weight saving, a 1-use rack of missiles kind of folds out, and you hear over the comms, because you weren't sure if you said it before, yeah, you're lucky I hate the serpents more than I hate you, and then another battery of missiles comes in from the other direction.
Yeah. Okay, so that's going to be risky standard 3 dice.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
You hear before he does this, right, before he pulls the trigger, very quietly, definitely not over comms this time. Here we go, darling. That's a 5.
5, 2, 1.
Yay.
So here's what happens. I'm going to give you a clock for the Serpent's convoy. It's only a 4 o'clock. This is a transport thing. This isn't like a big main expeditionary force, and this clock doesn't represent like, oh yeah, you've won, you've destroyed them. This clock is like that delivery, that like reinforcement. It's not happening. That clock is like, you've ruined this to an extent that their operation is a bust.
Is there a clock for the targets for our mission as well? A separate one, or is this all? Are they still being transported at the moment, or did they get dropped off and we were waiting for them to go?
Oh yeah, did I missile them?
I assumed that you said you were going for the serpents, and I think they are distinct targets at this point.
Oh sure, I just wasn't sure if they were all in the same area, and I was using like a very distinctly AoE weapon.
I think they've moved out enough that no, you're not necessarily catching them, especially when they've like filtered out into the back streets. That would create more concern of hitting non-combatants.
We've kind of given up an opportunity to go for them directly, to go for the Serpent's Fangs, which, once again, we have both decided to do because of both our lives.
Yeah, I mean, as long as that makes sense to you.
Yeah, no, I'm down.
Okay, cut to the side seat of a juddering Jevangelion truck. And we say truck, but this is still like the Jevangelion aesthetics, so I think there's a lot of smooth, rounded lines. Like it almost looks a little bit like a sort of vintage car, I'm imagining, but there's definitely this like black glossy paint, these like rounded edges, and in the side seat there is a person holding what look like some old-fashioned binoculars. Like they pull them out of a leather case, and we see them lower the binoculars in shock. We see them take off their officer's cap and, like, sort of trembling, like, reflexively, like, balling it up into a fist and just saying, "That stance, that maneuver, this is it. This is my career, my life in the making. I'm filling the Julius Thermidor confirmed clock, and you have a fan."
Oh, fill the hell out of it. Listen, I was never going to resist that. It's way more fun.
Uh-huh.
Couldn't be more confirmed if you'd blast it.
Yeah.
Hi, Julius Thermidor.
Hi, everyone. It's me, Julius Thermidor. You might know me from...
Meanwhile, back in the dressing hangar, Ipsy and True, how are you doing?
So, the last development we had was that it looked like the bad fella, Sync 5s, was booked to throw this match, despite the fact that that's not what canonically occurs, right?
Yes.
Or he was gonna ruin it, like flub the work or whatever?
That is correct. And sure enough, with sort of almost uncanny simultaneity, you hear the reports over your comms, you hear shouts of like, command screwing you over, have you not been told that the Serpent's Fangs were dropping off some of the invasion force entering with small vehicles from the east? You hear that diversions being made, you hear that Pallbearer, that Julius is opening fire, and at the same time, Ipsay clambering up behind you, you hear someone say, "Oh, all right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, let's get this show on the road. Out of my way, Rookie, I have a cockpit to climb into. Got some lovely fresh granite side to just hit the dirt in."
So this is the person who should be filling the Sync 5's role, right?
Yeah, they are gearing up to get this show on the road right now.
Is there crew around them? Is there cast?
No, you see Sync 5's actor approach, and he's
This
like...
Million Steel?
The Million Steel, yeah.
All mix steel themselves.
Yeah, and he's just sort of sauntering up, looking very casual, just like downing like a soft drink or something, throws it off and it like rattles along all the different like bends and divots in the mech. Yeah, seems to be unaccompanied. He's looking calm, relaxed, ready to go. But is asking that you get out of the way.
True turns on the spot extremely smartly, and her military kind of formal posture totally melts away. "Oh, Mr. Steele, forgive me for interrupting. I know you're just about to go on stage, but really, my wife is such a fan." And she steps up close and is going to draw a taser very briefly. Just all in one fluid movement.
Okay, so when you say draw a taser, are you aiming to fire or to, like, threaten?
Oh, no, fire.
Okay.
Or a stun baton, or, whatever is fantasy
like a-
fun. A nerve whip, or something stranger than that.
Nerve
perhaps.
whip.
Gosh.
Listen,
Nerve whips are
I'm
great.
just reading from the book here, pal.
Graduated from the taser to the nerve whip very quickly.
Yeah, that's a
The
bit of
old
an
taser to
escalation.
nerve
Just
whip
tad.
pipeline. And yes, she is definitely doing the Columbo thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Ipsay, how
You
are
see,
you responding?
my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, please.
Detecting this draw, I'm gonna take it on faith that my squad mate knows exactly what they're doing, and try and position myself to kind of, if anything, obscure the sight lines of any crew that are around to see this, and maybe even, like, grab Vermilion as he gets stunned, so it doesn't look like he collapsed.
All right, it sounds like you're helping.
Yep, can definitely try that.
I appreciate you, Ibsay. Thank you for helping me ambush this actor. Hey,
All right,
Elspeth, what does a collateral look like here?
I think it looks like,
I get his rabid fandom, the Steelies, hunting me down. The Vermiliosos. The Vermillions.
They're Vermilion strong.
Ah, that's a good one.
Steely stands? Is that it?
Oh, fuck.
That's it. That's it.
That was
Okay,
visceral, that was.
I know we're
felt
doing
that.
a bit, but this is actually quite tempting. Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Best kind of bit.
There's like
I mean,
a dedicated fan in the crowd who's like been like watching very closely, and like no matter how well you cover this up, they're going to see it and they're going to start broadcasting to
We're also-
they're going to
He's doing a Facebook Live.
they're going to hashtag fire up the steelworks.
Oh gosh.
Oh, fuck, yes.
The Steelworks.
Oh, that's good.
Friend, listener, how could I not take this blow? I'm fully intending on stealing this man's mech, by the way, and possibly ruining his whole career, so we'll see how
Okay.
this goes.
Good.
Reasons. This is desperate standard. If you're helping, take the stress of that, and what benefit,
Yep.
true, would you like to take from this?
I'm going to take a dice from the help and take a position improvement from the collaterale, if that sounds good.
Okay.
Oh, should we talk about their beliefs about each
Yeah.
other if they're doing a help?
Please.
Yeah, do
go
you want to do
ahead.
this?
Did we do this last time? True believes about Ipsay. I see Longreach in Ipsay. They should be protected. So it's a momentary flash of guilt as they're helping to clean up her mess.
Yep, and a momentary flash of hesitation on my part, because my belief about you is her relationship with Longreach reminds me of my former life. I am jealous.
Oh, buddy.
Oh,
Sure, we'll get into that former life soon. So, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, what, would that be risky standard? Assuming I'm increasing my
Yes,
position by one.
correct.
Yeah, I think the help has to do the position because of the way that it breaks
Yeah,
down. But you've got the stuff to do the.
Collateral gives you a die, help gives you position, it's fine.
So I have 1 rank in prowls, that's 2 dice. 3 and a 4, good thing I had that extra dice.
Yeah, good thing. Alright.
A good time was had by all, I'm pooped. What if Columbo just threw a taser at some point? Would that be fucked up or what?
I really hope you have a follow-up plan for this,
So
because
the
I do not
taser-
understand what
Yes.
it is.
I'm stealing this mech. I thought that was
The
obvious.
taser...
Cool.
He was going to ruin the bit. We need to make sure this is canon compliant. I'm following our rules of engagement to the letter.
So, here's what happens. The taser sinks in. Vermilion steel twitches and gives like a muffled grunt, but not the response you'd expect. And then, you can take the level 2 harm shot. Because Vermilion steel draws a pistol on you.
You're right, that's pretty shocking.
I did say shot.
Shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh!
Much
Yeah.
I
worse.
thought you said
Yeah.
shocked. You can see how those are distinct.
The gunshot rings out. The crowd just like, all of the assembled stuff just like run and like scream and carry in consternation. Someone shouts like, get the director or something. And Vermilion Steel just looks down on you, recoiling from this wound and says, well, I've just about had enough of this farce anyway. Shame though. I did tell my mom that she'd get to see me on TV. And pulls off the hood covering the back of her hair, because it occurs to you now that you did hear that Vermilion Steel was a method actor.
Oh, it's a sneaky fucking spy fella.
This is
ringer.
not Vermilion Steel at all. In fact, this might not be a man at all, in fact. This mysterious interloper you found, who uses she/her pronouns. She has shot you, and she shrugs and begins at a slightly quicker pace to get into the mech. Are you resisting that harm at all?
So I'm probably going to burn some armor, actually. I mean, that'll use up the last of my load, but that's probably a good idea, right?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, you could
Seems
double
good.
up. Actually, you could armor and resist.
Yeah.
I could, but it's only one.
Sure. Yeah.
I could. I've got plenty of stress to burn, in fairness, but also this may involve a daring chase for a mech, and therefore, that's a fair point.
Stress is there for a reason, you know.
Stress is there for a reason. That's fair. Oh,
Plus, getting
doesn't the
traumas
front
is fun.
line? We get
we
a
get
plus
an
1d to resist rolls. That
Yeah, we
actually
do.
makes it more tempting.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Oh, can we get a description for the podcast listeners of this this pilot's token?
Yes. I'm terrible at describing people. We're looking at a brown-skinned woman with dreadlocks that are sort of like being held back by a black patterned bandana, looking very, skeptical, I would say.
That's a skeptical look right there.
Yeah, very judgmental, with like sort of piloting like harness of some kind. And also some like dark grey eyeshadow, you think.
How did I end up on... I managed to end up on Michael's sheet again.
People love to
does
do
everyone
this.
keep assigning their stress
magnetically
to me?
attracted to your sheet. I'm pretty sure I did. Okay. So, I would like to try and resist with insight. No, hang on. I am resisting with prowess. I was like, I feel like I had better prowess stats than this. I do. I was looking at Michael's prowess stats.
Not very high.
Not very high. True is more sturdy. I've been shot before. So what I'm thinking is this is a, 3 dice resist prowess with the frontline ability Forged in the Fire, which means we get plus 1d2 resistance rolls. And I'm trying to shrug off this level 1 harm as well. Which, if this succeeds, well, I suppose it does succeed, but my picture is I get shot, I stagger back, but I do not fall over. Maybe I go up into like a boxer's stance or something, it's I don't think she has that I can do this whole all day vibe, But I like the idea of, maybe she pushes herself back up off of like a railing or something,
Yeah. Alright, let's see how much stress you take for resisting this.
Let's give it a go. So it's a prowess resist.
With an extra dice.
3 dice to begin with. 2 points of stress.
Nice.
That's not too bad. And my armor burnt, of course.
You stagger back, winded, but otherwise coming out of this relatively unharmed, as this figure, the Vermilion Steel's imposter, begins to make a break for...
Vermizant Steel.
Yes. Yeah, sure. Begins to make a break for the rest of the cockpit, like scrambling up over the arms in between the sort of joints and chassis and wiring and hydraulics of this mech. Ipse, what do you do about this?
I am going to reach into my satchel and draw a gun.
Yeah!
Because this is now a gunfight in my
You'll never
mind.
guess what I've got in my magical murder satchel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How serious a gun do I want to draw here?
It's like a serious gun moment.
I just Columbo tased someone, I think it can only get more serious from there.
Yeah.
I am going to draw a rifle from my bag.
Ooh.
I'm picturing kind of fairly advanced, folded up gun that I very rapidly draw from the bag and deploy with mechanical efficiency before aiming it at this interloper and trying to shoot them off the side of the mech.
Oh, does the interloper have a clock, by the way?
Yeah, I would say that this interloper is probably also a 4 o'clock.
As many 4-point clocks as there are stars in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
4. There's a lot of light pollution around here. There's a convention on me.
Yeah.
That's true. And is that 2 ticked from...
Yep. Mm-hmm.
From me being amazing. Vermilion Steel.
Exceptional.
I appreciate you indulging me, Elspeth.
It just works, Okay, so what do you think of rolling for this?
Could I make this a struggle roll? Because I have a die in that.
I think that sounds about right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I have purpose built as an artificial character, and my purpose is to guard. Can I make the argument that I am guarding the mech against this thief by trying to shoot them off?
Very definitely, yes.
Yeah. So, that gives me an extra die when I fulfill my purpose. So, that bumps me up to 2.
Okay.
Would you like some help?
I'd certainly take it, yep.
I'm not sure how I do help, but... I throw the stun baton.
Sure. Or you can just get in the way if they're trying to scoot around the mech to take cover. You could be in the way to cut them off, right?
I quite like that. I like the idea that, maybe the reason they're scrambling across the body of the mech in the first place is because I'm, we're doing a pincer movement and I'm coming in on the right along the opposite gantry or something like that.
Seems good, yeah.
Neat. I still throw the nerve whip, but it doesn't do much. Whip's bad for aerodynamics, it turns out.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones lied to me.
He doesn't throw them very often.
Did you use a nerve?
Sorry.
How can you stealthily whip someone? Anyway, no.
It's got a silencer on the...
For this, I would say you are looking at Desperate Standard. Desperate because, as far as the Tier 3 squad, whose premises you are in are concerned, you have started shooting one of their personnel.
True. Although, I am shooting at a Tier 1 squad person, probably.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
I'm assuming this is one of the vermin, because that's who we're here to
Let's call this Desperate.
sabotage.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. And yeah, I'll take that extra die from the help and the extra die from purpose built, which gives me 3 dice.
Something's just occurred to me. We should have been taking XP every time we rolled desperate.
Yes. That is
Oh,
something
boy.
that happens. Alright, here we go. I'll take that 6.
Fuck yeah.
That seems good.
It's a 5, 4, 6.
Yep.
We love to see it.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I'm aiming center of mass. If I can shoot this person, and I am absolutely going to shoot them.
Yeah. She drops. I think literally drops, probably tumbles off the side of this mech. Yeah.
I sort of turn to True, who's making her way around the gantry, and just say, we may need to explain this.
I mean, I was aiming for something a little bit more subtle, but, I mean, hey, the show must go on, right? She kind of tilts her head towards the mech.
Yeah,
cockpit.
as you say that, Sebastian Bangarang enters, flanked by a host of CalazCon security guards, weapons drawn, ready to open fire immediately. At the same time as you begin to hear sounds of vehicles revving and of gunfire from the other vermin invasion force that came in east from Corona Avenue, and at the same time as you begin to hear the startup music for the main event.
It's all kicking off.
Well, time to steal a mech.
Wait, so you just running for the cockpit?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we were kind of in the general vicinity
That was the
anyway.
plan originally, so...
You're not going to explain it to them?
Yeah, I'm going to
No.
need, either...
They've got guns.
I'm going to need either Ipso to make some very quick explanations, or you to make, a
tree and
prowl
leaf.
to get into that cockpit. Which are you going for? I mean, Ipso's going to have to make the explanation sooner or later, unless Ipso's going to try to fit into the mech with you.
I was going to say, is this a large
Ooh.
cockpit, or is this a...
I'm going to go
Is
with
this
no.
very much a one-person cockpit?
Very much one person.
Okay.
I mean, mech scale being what it is, we don't have to be in the cockpit together for that long. We just need to get out of their range.
I mean, hold on. Am I right in thinking that anyone can declare a remote vehicle control?
Yes.
I
That's
believe so.
entirely possible.
It is a point of load.
Yeah, what are you thinking of doing, Ipso?
In this moment, I'm going to drop my gun, because I think I can get away with this. But if True wants to use this to still make a break from the cockpit, that's up to them. But I am ready to talk to these security.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of, if this doesn't go well, then, True might get shot on her way to the cockpit. What do you say to them? Because they're getting ready to shoot. You need to say something that will get them to de-escalate fast.
I simply say, there was an intruder attempting to steal this mech. I have apprehended them. Please do not fire.
Wow, okay.
The old tell 'em the truth gambit.
Yeah, okay. Sure. I think I'm going to say that's desperate standard.
Sway or consort, something like that, right?
I think this is a sway,
Well, they're not lying, right?
Yeah, but I don't think sway doesn't have to be lying. Sway can be persuasion, right?
Yeah, I'm not mingling with
Yeah.
them, so yeah.
I can help.
How while you're running to the cockpit?
Because mid-step, I A, see Ipse turn on the spot, and B, drop their weapon. And I see Longreach and Ipse, and they should be protected.
Yes, okay.
So I think I kind of almost visibly flinch, and then turn on the spot. Start to kind of round the other side of the mech, hands up myself.
Okay.
So we're both putting down arms, and I'm going to take that help, and I'm also going to push myself here.
Okay.
Because I have a starting of 0 in these skills,
Are
so
you taking better effect or a dice from that
a
help?
die for that, yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
Oh,
I'll
fuck
take that,
yeah.
another 5 and 6. Yep.
So he's getting so much XP and no consequences whatsoever.
Always make desperate rolls.
Always make that.
Never try to improve.
Yeah.
They never go badly.
Never.
Yeah. Sebastian looks and quickly verifies that what you're saying is true and just says, well, I'm ruined. I thank you, I guess, but I'm ruined. What now? You'd better have had a contingency plan before you did something like that. Enemy or not, they might have been a perfectly competent understudy.
My compatriot here, and I gesture to True, is a very qualified mech pilot and has watched the appropriate Calazar episodes to understand the script here, I believe.
So, True, did you drop your weapon but keep going for the cockpit, or...?
I threw my weapon at the imposter. Once I noticed that Ipse was trying to disarm the situation, I was not able to abandon them in this scenario.
I see.
So I think I continue, step up to the accomplished director Sebastian Bangarang, say, my apologies, things got a little intense there, but we have reason to believe the understudy, as it were, was trying to interfere with your, creative vision. I can't say I've seen all of your work, but I was a great fan of the Battle of the Three Generals. While I, slept through some of the beginning parts, my wife informed me that it was very moving, and I appreciate the stage lighting of the conclusion there.
As this sentence begins, you begin to hear like booming through the PA system, a very like intense, like vindictive, like heartfelt speech, and you realise this is the opening speech of Brad Seville. The scene has begun, and Sebastian just looks around and says, like,
So, with all due respect, we really don't have the time to be waiting here.
That'll do. Yes, get in. Go.
I think she gives Ipse's shoulder a squeeze as she runs for the cockpit. Are you coming?
I say, I will observe the event from the sidelines, but break a leg, I believe
yeah,
they say.
They also say don't mention Macbeth, though, so... and she hops in the cockpit.
Shall we cut over to the explosions?
Yes.
Meanwhile, at the explosions.
Yes. Explosions team. You have damaged the Serpent's convoy. However, the main vermin force is still working their way through the back streets. It's only a matter of time until they hit the arena, and who knows what will happen at that point.
These are mostly infantry and like light vehicles, right?
Yes. You would say infantry, maybe some cars or trucks, yes, some kind of vehicle, and maybe a couple of light mechs.
I mean, I might have a play for that. Julius, what are you up to?
I thought I'd probably just destroy the Serpent's convoy, and then come help with the vermin.
Well, we can have this overcome. It's like, yeah, okay, pallbearer, you have some Yov-on-Yov violence. I'll take care of these vermin. And then the Vector Mantis comes down.
Acknowledged, burnout.
And if they're infantry and like light vehicles, as one of my weight-saving one-off weapons, I could activate the machine gun, which is a heavy machine gun effective against vehicles and devastating against infantry at relatively short ranges. That seems like it might do the trick.
Yes, I would say, but with that, you're definitely looking at a risky great.
Cool.
Yeah, what you're looking at is you can see squads of random corners rushing through the crowds. You notice, again, you can tell that you're looking at guerrilla units who are from the area, not just in the fact that the infantry are sort of ushering people away, trying to clear roads and trying to clear corners before they advance and move up, but other vehicles are hovering, which not only makes them very light and agile, but they are hovering high enough to go over most civilians.
Oh, so there's civilians in the area as well, I see.
Yes.
These are con-goers, right?
Yes. Convention goers are also just people who lived here and have had to convert their businesses to serve the convention or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't go for the close-range shrapnel launcher. That might be a little bit more difficult to guide. I think the machine gun I might be okay with, but I'm gonna, if possible, attempt to target the ones not immediately over like civilians. Let's start with with any easy hits we can get. But I guess we'll see how that pans out. Would this be a battle?
Yes, definitely.
What's a collateral you can offer me here? There's that fun surprise clock.
Yeah, true. What is your... I'm just wanting to remind myself of your squad relationships. You have a negative relationship with... Is it Spencer Holiday?
Spencer Holiday and the 501st.
Right, okay.
Oh, also, I'll remind you, in terms of your, effect calculations, I do have a damage of battered, which may or may not come into effect. I guess this is also a mech versus pilot scale, but...
Yeah, I think it could be relevant. I think that might make this risky standard. Yeah, the reinforcement isn't there, the recoil and aim on all of your weapons is a bit tougher. It's a bit harder to keep things in line and on target. And I think for a collateral, I would say definitely breaking your rule of engagement about damage beyond the combat zone.
Don't do that.
I will not take that one. What I will do, I think, is I've still got quirks left. I've got my high-quality components and intimidating blades. I think these are particularly accurate heavy machine guns, like they're almost mandible-like under the helmet of the Vector Mantis. So I'll click off my high-quality components quirk. I have one left, which may or may not be wise. And open up on these vermin.
All right. Cool.
Unless there's any assistance that I could be offered as well.
It sounds like you're relatively isolated in that Julius is sort of doing his thing.
Yeah, and
That
I don't
makes
think I
sense.
could, rain missiles down on them without problems
Yeah,
happening.
that's true. That's true. So we're going to go for a battle. That was risky, right?
Yeah, risky standard.
How big's that clock?
I know I've been saying this a lot on this occasion, but I think it's a 4 o'clock.
I'm going to attempt... There was a temptation to drop myself to desperate, but I'll stick with risky standard for the time being. Let's see how this goes. 2, 3, 4.
Whew.
Glad I used that quirk as this spinning up as basically the Vector Mantis hovers down. Because you said these were hovering mechs as well. So I think I can actually, because I can also hover, I can get into a position where I can attack them quite vertically and so I'm not necessarily just shooting down at them. Or at least position myself in such a way that I've got some good lines and just try and take some of these out as much as possible as I sweep by.
Okay. Here's what happens. You send some of your inventory sort of tumbling and scattering. You see some of the support, some of the sort of hover engines on the hovercraft sort of burst and veer as they scrape and climb, sort of get jammed in these tight alleyways. You can tell that they were planning on sort of taking the element of surprise by being a lot more maneuverable, and you've effectively pinned them down enough that that's significantly hampered. What does happen then, however, is as you're coming to the end of this barrage, there's a sudden sound of slicing metal as the last burst of fire gets cut off by something blinking in front of it and the sound of it ricocheting off metal. And you hear a voice over your comms say, "If you want to take down my friends, then I'm afraid you're a little slow for that." As a glittering, fluorescent cloak that was keeping this vehicle sort of relatively covered gets blown off in the sort of wind and the slipstream, and what is revealed is a sort of slim aerial sort of mech, quite similar to yours. In fact, this is a modified Exodon Strafe. I need to drag a picture of one into the Roll20. So for our listeners, this looks kind of like a jet plane, but if the sort of back wings could sort of get fold down into the undercarriage and point down 2 legs. But this one is modified in that those lower legs are pointed and folding so that it can enter a sort of more compact rectangular fighter deck configuration, which is the one it's in now, and also in that they are sharply pointed. That was that sort of metallic sound you heard, and indeed you can see where this mech has travelled. It's left a blazing, sparking trail on the ground in the beginnings of a movement to try to encircle you. And the other striking thing about this mech is, with the cloak that was covering it gone, you recognise this. This is a CalazCon mech. This is the CalazCon mech.
Oh.
This is the iconic one, or a replica of it. It's been sort of sculpted to have a bit more of a humanoid head, and it has a saber strapped to the undercarriage of one of the wings, and it's painted in this brilliant red and gold pattern with a rampant lion up one of the legs. This is the Hope of CalazCon, and it is fighting for the Jovangelians.
Oh, that seems bad.
Too slow, is it? No one faster than me. Let's see what you've got. The engine revs.
Back off. You've embarrassed yourself enough.
Looks around to... seems your friends wouldn't agree with that.
You've won this lap, but look around you. And I think it's clear who's winning the race, because the consequence that I'm threatening you with, that this pilot is pointing out, is they've just done an incredibly sick maneuver as you were, like, firing in a relatively crowded environment. The consequence is I'm threatening part of your mission brief as not being fulfilled. Even if you repel this invasion, the optics are not going to be on your side. You will not be the good guys. Because these people are homegrown locals and they are here looking like cool and careful.
Okay, and that's a narrative consequence.
Yes.
And to stop that, we'd need to take out this mech, or just do something
You need to resist or do something. If we think of this in terms of, like, what's the word, like a tug-of-war clock, then you could think of it in terms of, like, this is a 4 o'clock and they've filled up half of it in their favour. For, like, having the crowd on their side.
I'd like to finish these jerks off so I can go help Mike.
Please.
Go for it.
I think I just want to pick a directed energy weapon. This feels like a directed energy weapon kind of moment. Where is the... I'm looking for, like, sort of a center mass or a weak point on this convoy.
That sounds to me a bit like you're setting your set of action, potentially.
Well, no, because I would just be doing it for me.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I just, like, there's a particular quirk I wanted to tick, but I don't think it's... You know what? I don't think I need to tick that particular... Oh, sorry.
I was going, you've been in the Dreving Early military. I'd say that you could pick that out if you wanted.
Yeah, okay. So what does this look like, right? This transport convoy. Like, what am I looking at exactly? Is it a series of trucks?
Yeah, a row of trucks, some, like, closed, some flatbed, some that are almost more like a quadrupedal, like, tank or treaded, like, mechs. And, I would say that the way you spot the leadership is that there's, you recognize the model. You can see that there's one that's a bit more suited for, like, rapid deployment and has, like, a sort of, like, bubble-shaped sphere cockpit instead of, like, a straightforward driver's seat to protect the personnel. You say they're in that.
Right, okay, so I've identified which truck the CO is in.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'd like to use my directed energy weapon, which is just a straight-up laser that comes out of the mouth of the bull, right? Like, it's got that, like, orb, sort of like... You know, where it's like it's spinning up and then like a laser shoots out of it, and I want to just like skewer right through the cockpit.
Yeah, alright, go for it. I think this is,
probably a bombard.
Yeah, I think this is a bombard, and I think it's desperate limited.
Oh, no, that's a bad thing for it to be.
They're a tier higher than you, and, like, they're on to you now. You are firing from, like, a prominent position with every single vehicle in the convoy being like, there is that person firing at us, you know?
Cool. I want to tick surprisingly delicate for a quirk in order to push myself.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a collateral dice I could have?
Yes. Reduced trust with the DFS because you are going off the books in a very prominent way.
How do we collectively feel about that? I don't think I should take it if we're not all okay with it.
I think we've got... I think the horse has already bolted on that a little bit to some extent, so go from my perspective.
What about Ipse and True? How do they feel about that?
I think if this is true to your heart, then do it.
Okay, can I make an argument for increased effect from my iconic style because everyone knows who I am now?
You could do a little speech.
How does that make you better at destroying this thing?
Because they might be onto me, but they're also looking up and going, my god, that's Julius Thurbador. If a guy came back from the dead and then shot your mech with a laser, I bet you'd be, like, way worse at dodging it.
True. I think it also cancels out because there's equally a bunch of people in all of those vehicles being like, yeah, aim at the extremely distinctive mech with a bull on its shoulder, you know?
Oh, yeah, that would be my position. My position is still going to be desperate.
That could be intimidating. That could be, it's quite harrowing to see, two mechs from your own side bearing down on you.
Yeah, alright. Sure. Yeah, okay. So now at desperate standard.
Right, okay. So I'm going to use the push to get myself to 3. No, sorry, the collateral dice to get myself to 3. And then I guess I'll go to, like... I could go to 4, still roll desperate. XP is pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to do that because it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I only need a standard effect in order to finish them, so...
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's a 6! Beautiful.
Oh, damn. Okay.
A 1, a 6, a 5, and a 3. Yep.
Okay.
See, the key to Beam Saber is you just roll as many dice as possible and never fail.
Yeah.
Just don't roll badly.
Just don't roll bad. It's that simple.
So what does this look like? Where's that directed energy weapon?
So that directed energy weapon is in the bull's mouth, like I was saying,
Mhm.
and it spins up, and the camera gets a sense that this is not close to what it does at full power. This is a sort of a standard blast, right? This is like, yeah, okay, let's get this one guy. But from the perspective of a guy in the truck, suddenly there's no truck. There's no guy.
Yeah. It's gone, and with that, the whole command falls apart. You see, like, they all split off and just, like, try to... You've routed the whole convoy, basically. Those that are left are just going wherever they can see and regrouping later. There's, I imagine, just, like, goods getting torn, spilled off. We see stuff like... Just, like, stuff of, like, an incredibly weird scale, like an entire, like, howitzer falls off the back of a truck and gets wedged in an alleyway. Things like that. And I think some wild shots, like, get sent your way as they retreat. They all completely miss you. Because, yeah, you spent your surprisingly delicate quirk on that, right? Yeah. Imagine you just, like, unexpectedly, like, turning or twisting. Maybe even, like, hanging off the roof of that building you're on with one hand to dodge some of the fire or something.
Yeah, and I think as they all run away, there is sort of a message sent out on general comms to anyone who could be listening, which says, tell your commanders Julius Thermidor is returned, and he knows exactly how to kill you.
Wonderful.
And I lumber off in search of whatever Mike's doing.
Ipse, what are you doing now that True's wandered off in a different mech?
Yeah, that is a good question. Just to get some clarification on the state of play here as well, are there still any vermin forces moving through towards the arena, or is that also...
No, there are still some
relatively
that
under
are
control
still
now?
breaking through.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been kind of stopped. I've kind of got something else to deal with before I can. I think I'm going to have to pass those on to the infantry troops, to you guys actually.
Sure. So, my plan, as much as it is to make my way over to that side of the fight, basically. On foot still, because it sounds like vermin are still, you're in light vehicles and on foot. So I think I can engage them like that. And the other question I have is, we have a squad associated, a squad of toughs associated with our squad, right?
Yes, you do, yeah.
To my knowledge, they're currently in the back of the truck, or, you know, when the action started, they were in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
They could be wherever they want.
This is kind of my question is, yeah, if I want to have them to rendezvous with, effectively, group up with our other infantry, and try and fend off these vermin as they come towards the arena. That is basically the plan. I guess I'm asking, like, do you need anything like flashback-wise or whatever to set up the
I think
waiting?
if it was a flashback, it would be a zero stress one.
Sure.
Would be to be like,
Yeah.
obviously they're
This
here.
is a, you know, like, they're around, they were already on site and nearby, and when things have kicked off, then they've started moving out, and I'm rendezvousing with them, and I'm going to try and set up to just get into some
Alright, so...
ground level combat.
Yeah, you get on comms with commanding officer Peregrine Birdie Docks, the leader of your squadron of toughs. So you meet up with them there at the sort of edge of the arena, getting ready to meet the incoming vermin forces, and Birdie just turns to you as you approach and just says, About damn time. Been waiting for so long, you couldn't just give us a bit of a hint of what you're up to, and now suddenly we're knee-deep in this.
I think at this point I have my rifle not stowed, but kind of like slung under my arm, and I raise it slightly with one hand and just look at Birdie and say, I was otherwise occupied.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so were we, and now look where we're at. I don't know if your whole occupation's given us much to show for it, but what are your orders?
We need to establish a perimeter and prevent the vermin from interfering with any of the goings-on in the arena. We should hopefully be able to understand where they're coming from as our armoured support is observing their advance, but spread the board squad out a little bit, and I'll stay on site to assist. Let's just try and stop these enemies from getting through.
Alright, so there are different ways we can handle this. Is this a case of, say, like, commanding board squadron, your gang of toughs?
I mean, I'm very willing to let Birdie do the tactical command, right? This is their squad, so I don't want to step in too much. But I've definitely got an idea of what I need them to be doing, which I've just relayed, right?
Yeah.
I think you get better numbers if you roll their quality.
I mean, well...
Yeah.
That is kind of what I'm asking, which is, Birdie is fundamentally under your command. You can absolutely command him and his squad, but it's more a question of, do you want to just be, like, rolling their quality, so that would be 2 dice, right? Or do you want to be rolling command to try to, like, lead them?
I'd rather just roll that quality. It's a better roll generally, and like I said, I don't want to be too hands-on here. I want to be... Yeah, I've told them what's required, but I want to let Birdie get on with it. So...
Yeah, roll 2 dice for me then.
Cool. Should just make this like a generic roll, is it?
I don't know if we necessarily have one for these.
I mean, it's an action roll, though, right?
Is this an action roll with...
I don't think it is, no.
It doesn't have consequences?
Alright, hold on.
Sorry, I don't want to be difficult.
No,
it's fine. I feel like I've been in this situation
clarify.
in Beam Saber before, and bad stuff happened to the toughs if they didn't succeed.
If a cohort tackles a problem alone within their expertise, roll its quality to determine the outcome. If the task is outside their expertise, it counts as having a quality of 0. If a pilot directs the cohort with orders, the pilot rolls command. Any of these rolls can be an action roll or a fortune roll, as is appropriate to the fiction.
Yeah.
Okay. I do feel like this is an action roll in some regards, right?
I mean, the other thing here is I think you may have talked yourself into rolling command.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. I can roll command.
I think that's accurate with what's going on in the fiction here.
Cool, that's fine. I do not have any dice in command, but I am once again stating that this is part of my purpose. I'm commanding this squad to defend a location, so I'd like to get a die because I'm guarding somewhere.
Definitely. What are the edges and flaws of the cohort?
The edges are they're independent and fearsome, and the flaws are eager and wild.
In that case, I'd say that this is risky great.
Let's roll that then. That's 4.
Nice.
Nice.
So yeah, let's succeed with some consequences. As I, maybe do intervene a little bit more then, if I'm actually bothering to command here. I let Birdie sort of set up where he wants people on positions, but I'm using my expertise as a guard robot to sort of correct things and, make sure that the missed angles get covered.
Identify choke points and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, so I think what happens is Boar's squadron begin to make pretty solid headway, and soon they have sort of all the entrance and exit points covered. They have the vermin forces pretty conclusively beaten back. But at the tail end of that exchange, with you sort of directing them, just as they're beginning to wind down, and just as Birdie's beginning to say, "All right, I think we can call this one a day. I think good job done." And sort of says to you, "Appreciate you coming through, Rampart. It's looked a bit dicey there, but you've come through for us." And then just as that sentence is ending, there's a resounding blast from somewhere, and as you hear your infantry in the background, board squadron shouting out, "We're taking fire," shouts of confusion, as it becomes clear that what has happened is CalazCon forces are also trying to fire on the vermin, and you've been caught in the crossfire. As you hear some of the CalazCon forces moving in, and they're shouting about retaking the hope of Calazar, which you gather is the stolen mech that Burnout is engaged with.
Yeah.
Oh, so to be clear, the squad has taken level 2 harm.
Not our boys.
Boys.
No!
Precious boys.
Our sweet boys. They're impaired and have -1D.
No!
Unless, of course, you'd like to resist that.
Yeah, I think I might, actually.
We do get +1D to resisting.
This is true.
And you are a protection lad. I don't know if
Exactly.
does that apply to that?
Does it say +1D to rolls or action rolls?
When you directly attempt to fulfill your purpose, take +1D.
In general, then, I guess.
So
Yeah,
it does not
alright.
say a specific type of roll. So if I can get that and also our squad bonus,
Yeah,
to try and
definitely.
resist this.
And
Okay.
this might be an insight resist, maybe, to like see the CalazCon push coming and get people to withdraw.
Yeah, that seems like the thing, especially as I am taking part in the command structure of the squad right now. So yeah. Alright, that's gonna put me on 4 dice. Let's start with 2, get another 2 from those bonuses. Let's make a resist roll.
2, 5, 4,
Damn,
5.
okay.
5 highest?
Yep, so
nice.
1 stress.
1 stress.
Okay,
Cool.
so yeah, you managed to anticipate the assault and get people in a safe and secure position of out of crossfire. So that's only level 1 harm. True. You are in a mech that you do not own, fighting a fight that you do not particularly know or think or...
This was another one of the movies that True fell asleep during.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we just cut to you facing down Brad Seville as the heel in this match.
I think the shot is True is the mech is rising slowly out of the dress hanger. You know, there's some suitably ominous music playing. True is bathed in like red light because you know it's an enemy mech. You gotta have the red light on the interiors. TIE fighter energies as well. She has the manga adaptation of this balanced in her lap. Evidently, you know, the original actor had it, you know, as like reference material, and she's trying to crib her lines from the book as she's fighting.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, what do you roll for, like, I'm trying to fight, but I'm trying to,
I'm trying to sell this. That's what I'm trying to do. My vibe is, I feel like making it, you know, what I need to do is need to make it look good, right?
Yeah.
I still need to lose, as I understand by having flipped to the back page, but to do so, I need to launch the nanite swarm first.
Yeah. So what are you thinking of rolling for this? Because you do get to choose the action.
Matt, you keep making Matt noises. What are you thinking?
Was I right in thinking that the sabotage that was done to this mech was replacing the gimmicked sword that shatters with one that's like a real full sword? Is that right?
Yes. Yes, that was one of the things they did, but also to be clear, the thing I was setting up was the package that they took from the rink that you found out in your prep was the real pilot. They kidnapped the guy.
Okay, that was what I thought it might be. I knew they were taking something.
Yes.
I was just wondering if, like, because if part of this scene is that this sword shatters and then you deliver, well, the nanoswarm happens and it is defeated by the power of love, but currently this sword can't shatter. Is there a route where you could swing this solid sword and then Longreach could shoot the sword to make it shatter?
Oh, that's really good.
That is extremely cool. Yeah.
I'm so glad you also had this thought.
Oh, sick.
True really needs 3 hands for this, because she is trying to pilot a mech. She is, you know, dodging, like wrestling style moves. You know, there's Beam Saber swipes coming, like, within a range sort of bracket to make it look decent. She is trying to, you know, crib lines from this manga volume. She gets really torn apart on the fan sites tomorrow morning. You know, they think it's really stiff. They think it's really wooden. She didn't even try to affect the pilot's unique accent.
I mean, let's see how it goes. Let's see.
Okay, I'm not trying to roll to act.
Yeah, okay, you're rolling for, like, the physical acting, the mech acting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is it. And the third thing is True is talking Longreach into activating and shooting her blade out at the right moment. Which is, you know, her being like, Listen, Reach, you got this. Just, you're facing me. You're in the perfect positioning. Just be calm. You're not gonna hit me. We've got this. We're a team.
Yeah, I'm imagining Long Reach almost saying something like, promise me you won't be mad if I miss.
This isn't the truck, Reach. It's fine. Remember, I blew out the bumper last week just bouncing into a bollard. It's fine, genuinely.
Right.
I mean, this thing's supposed to be wrecked at the end, right?
Yeah.
You like this kind of thing.
Yeah, I've got this. I've got this.
You've got this. I believe in you. Whatever happens.
So this is sounding like a desperate great maneuver or battle. It's in that territory, right?
Doesn't matter to me, because it is 1-for-1.
What about a bombard, considering it's long reach, shooting things from very far away?
True. I think battle might be more accurate in terms of it is sword swipey time and it is also gunfiery time.
Yeah.
And it's firing into a fray.
The whole ensemble, yeah.
Would you allow me to burn Longreach's quirks during this?
Yes, definitely.
Then I will also burn Longreach's tactical targeting system.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you gotta use a tactical targeting system. What did we say this was?
Desperate great battle. I will give you a collateral.
Oh, please.
So you know how you're hated by the Steelworks, and I think that changes because we found out you were attacking a decoy. I think you know how the internet is. A lie has a chance to get halfway around the world, etc. I think. Yeah.
Yep.
My collateral dice is no matter how badly you fuck this up, there is a faction of the fandom that also adores you.
Oh yes. You gotta do it.
Can't be helped. Had to do it to him. Right, okay. So, we're going battle. We're starting off with what?
Desperate Grey, I think.
Desperate Grey. Okay. I'm burning a quirk, so that's 1. I've also got 1 rank in battle already, so that's probably 2 dice at least. And maybe... I mean, I'm driving someone else's mech right now. What's the worst that can be damaged? Maybe I just go for... Desperate Great instead.
Yeah, true.
Desperate Great, 2 dice. We're starting on standard, right, Elspeth? I'm not. Or were we starting on Desperate Limited?
Oh, Desperate Great.
You start
to base.
Oh, we're starting Desperate Great to begin with.
Yeah, I say so.
Yeah.
If this goes well, I think it does go very well. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, I may as well just go Desperate Great 3 dice then.
Yeah, go for it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
455.
Okay.
Still not my mech. It is, True doing the climax of the villain speech. Mercifully, this is all on 1 page of the manga volume, so she's not having to flip pages midway through, which is what's leading to some of her dialogue being quite stilted. But it is, the blade of your strong will not hold against my literal blade, she says, swinging downward.
Yeah, It swings down.
And then it swings down, it catches the hull, and in the same moment, Longreach goes, and the blade shatters at just above the hand, and there's sparks of metal flying everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. What's a desperate consequence on this? All right, I have an idea that might be really stupid, so I want to hear it out with
aerate it.
Burnout. Take level 3 damage. Where will the other half of that blade land?
Ooh.
Hoo-wee.
Hey, can I resist that?
Oh my god, how?
Can I protect burnout?
Are you on your way there, or are you trying to shoot it down or something?
No, I want to get hit by it.
Yeah, you were on your way, right?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
I want to get there and just in time see this massive mech-sized blade hurtling towards Mike's back, or Mike's mech's back, and then just realize the only way that I'm going to be able to stop that is by jumping in front of it.
Jumping? You have a really squat, like, mech. Jumping in front of it sounds, like, intense.
I mean, I have something I could add to the table as well that was going to kind of, because it seems like we're getting towards the end of this sequence. My spark ability is Art by Another Name. You may spend your spark to cause a temporary ceasefire as the combatants are awed by the deftness of your craft, which I was planning to spend to, like, engage the Hope of Calazar in, like, this close quarters battle, like the blades on my mech's arms versus the sharpened kind of lower blades of this mech. So we can be moving all over the place. We can be positioned where we need to be in the middle of this in order for this scene to work, because I think this is a good scene.
And also, I'm really trying to proc Martyr right now, which is when you take harm or damage from protecting a teammate and don't resist it, gain 1 XP. So just
okay.
I'm trying to establish, some character,
So this is like, I'm imagining like you and the Hope of Calazar are back and forth dueling, and that's one reason why you're so blindsided to this, and it's like, as those blades are crossing, you notice something behind you. You see the pilot of the Hope of Calazar, you see in the shock in their eyes, and then you, like, hear the crunch of the metal of this broken blade impacting Toru.
Yeah, like, there's a moment where Mike is even like, I've got this. Pallbearer, stay away. Then chung, it goes in, and then temporary ceasefire as everyone is shocked and awed by this whole situation.
What's the damage that I take? Is it damage or harm?
It's damage to the mech, yeah.
Okay.
So it's got to be impaled.
I knew you were going to say impaled. I had impaled in my brain. Yeah, no, I think we get that shot, right? Just like brief, like everybody pauses. Real fucking Gundam moment. Everyone's just stopped looking at what's happened, right? Mike just realizing what's going on, and the Toru sort of like taps the Vector Mantis on the shoulder, and Julius like sort of croaks through comms, "Watch your back."
Cut into the cockpit of Mike looking like shocked and just doesn't know what to make of this.
So I have level 3 damage, which means that if I want to act, need help, or I need to push myself. Is that correct?
I think so, yes.
Cool.
Yes.
And meanwhile, over comms, True, you're hearing this happen, I'm sure.
True dropped her comm when this happened. So True is not currently in the cockpit, like in the pilot's seat. She is in the footwell, scrambling for her comm. Everyone, ring out. Who's down? Who's down?
Pallbearer has taken damage. Like I think the Vector Mantis, like, there's a temporary ceasefire, but steps in front of the Taru. I will step in way. Has taken damage. We have one enemy mech, the Hope of Calazar, still engaged. Although it seems like they're getting a bit nervous.
As a background to all this, by the way, you can hear the raucous cheers from the crowd, because you succeeded, Au Pair. You sold the show. In the end, like, the lines, the vocals, whatever, it's all in the sort of physical moment-to-moment of the combat, and somehow you pull that off. The crowd is on your side, and the sound is deafening.
True does not care about the crowd. I think the only dialogue we get from her, quote-unquote, in character is her going, "Damn!" and accidentally hitting the button which releases the quote-unquote nanite swarm. Just as the, like, SFX in the sky above this fucking awful scene.
I think Mike gets the Hope of Calazar on comms, just looks down to Julius, just looks at the Hope of Calazar. Like, there's beeps going off in the cockpit as, like, quirks have been expended. Like, there's beeps probably coming through on the comms from Julius's mech, and it just goes to the Hope of Calazar and it's just like, fuck off. Everyone looking up astounded at this thing. Like,
Yeah.
we can't continue this fight unless they want to continue it going. And
Oh, absolutely. Like, the Vermin forces, the Hope of Calazar's support has been, like, decimated. Cal's Clash have noticed that their stolen mech is on the scene and are moving in fast. Yeah, its pilot, whoever they may be, is in no hurry to stick around. In fact, you know what? The pilot says, "It's been fun, but fine. just, don't forget the name Slipaway Bolt anytime soon.
Mike has the opportunity to chase after someone who's like claiming to be faster than him, but like is propping up the Toro Taru and is like choosing not to take it for whatever reason.
Philo in the chat says, which is basically propping up 2 mechs.
Yeah. So we leave it with Ipse amid the wounded but victorious War Squadron. True scrambling in the cockpit of a mech that is not their own. I'm imagining we hear Longreach saying did it work over the comms? And finally, amid the wreckage, the bravely wounded Toro just being propped up against Bernard, who's watching the hope of CalazCon retreat into the distance.
Thanks for listening to CalazCon. This episode was edited and sound balanced by Christine Blight. You can reach her for voice acting at CVBlight@gmail.com. The show's music is by Devin Nelson. You can find all of their work at devindecibel.com. If you'd like to support CalazCon, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/CalazCon. Please tell your friends about the show too. Remember, all glory to Calazar.